Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to knowledge you can actually use. Today, our mission is, well, pretty specific. We're taking all this nutritional research and boiling it down to build, essentially, the perfect, evidence-backed breakfast, like an antioxidant fortress to start your day.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not just throwing out a list of healthy foods, The sources we dug into really pinpoint foods proven to help with long-term health. Things like managing diabetes, boosting heart health, and just generally supporting longevity. We're prioritizing scientific proof over just, well, popularity.
Okay, great. So let's start with the why. Why focus so much on breakfast for antioxidants? What's the core problem we're trying to fix first thing in the morning?
It really comes down to something called the postprandial state.
Right.
Fancy term, right? It just means the time right after you eat. When your body starts digesting food, it's a huge metabolic process. Think of it like starting a car engine.
Okay, engine running, using fuel.
Right. And like a car engine, it produces exhaust. In your body, this metabolic exhaust is oxidative stress. You often hear it called free radicals. Technically, ROS, reactive oxygen species. So that period after eating, it's actually a pro-oxidant state, naturally.
Huh. So we eat to get energy, but the very act of processing that food creates these harmful byproducts that age us and contribute to disease? That seems kind of unfair metabolically.
It does feel a bit like that. But the body's pretty smart. It has this defense system. Deep inside your cells, near the mitochondria, the energy factories, you have these little packets. They're called lysosomes. Think of dietary antioxidants as the filters, right? Well, the lysosomes are like the filter holders. They store those antioxidants, ready to jump on the free radicals as soon as they show up.
Ah, okay. So they're like the body's little pollution control centers, and we need to keep them stocked up. So our goal today is finding the absolute best natural chargers, the foods that pack the most punch, to refill those lysosomes and fight off that daily oxidative spike.
It's exactly. Let's kick things off with a breakfast classic, but maybe a surprising winner. Apples.
Yeah, I saw that statistic in the sources, and it honestly stopped me in my tracks. Just one apple a day linked to a 35% lower risk of dying from any cause, especially protection against heart disease and cancer. That's a massive return for something so simple.
It's incredibly protective. But, okay, here's the practical question. You're standing in the grocery store. You see Red Delicious, Fuji, Gala, Pink Lady, the green ones. Which one do you actually pick? I think most people, probably me included before digging into this, would kind of assume the brightest red apple is the best bet.
Right, that deep red color usually screams antioxidants, those anthocyanins. So what did the head-to-head comparison actually find? Which apple has the most antioxidant power?
Well, it turns out color can be deceiving here. The winner, and it was by a pretty clear margin, is the green apple. Red apples came in second, sure, but the green ones just had significantly more antioxidant capacity overall. Green is king.
Wow, okay, that's an easy swap. Green apple in the morning instead of red. Got it. But there was a really important catch, wasn't there, about how you eat it?
Yes, absolutely crucial, non-negotiable, really, for the full benefit. You have to eat it with the skin. There were clinical trials comparing eating whole green apples, which are packed with these things called flavonoids, versus just eating the pulp. The whole apple, skin on, was way better for improving endothelial function.
Okay, break down endothelial function for us. Sounds technical, but you're saying it's key for heart health.
Totally key. It's basically the health and flexibility of the lining inside your blood vessels, your arteries. Think of your arteries like pipes. If the lining isn't flexible or gets kind of sticky, plaque can build up easily. That leads to heart problems. The flavonoids, especially concentrated in the skin, help keep those arteries flexible and less sticky. They can expand and contract like they're supposed to. Peel that skin off, and you lose a big chunk of that benefit.
Makes perfect sense. The protective compounds are in the protective layer. Okay, if we're eating the skin, we need to clean it properly. Any simple tips from the sources?
Yeah, two really easy methods. You can soak the apples for about a minute in water with maybe a tablespoon of baking soda, or water with just a teaspoon of vinegar works too. Just a quick 1-minute soak, then a good rinse. That's
Yeah.
the trick.
Great practical stuff. Okay, let's switch gears from fruit to nuts, another breakfast favorite. But first, just remind us of the big picture here, nutritionally speaking.
Right, the fundamental point is antioxidants are overwhelmingly found in plant foods. That's the foundation. The analysis just reinforces that plants are loaded with thousands of these phytochemicals, whereas animal-based foods just don't compare in that department.
Okay, sets the stage nicely. So, nuts. We've got the usual lineup. Almonds, pecans, pistachios, cashews, peanuts. Brazil nuts, too. I bet most people listening, and probably myself included, would kind of default to almonds as the healthiest nut. So who takes the crown for antioxidant power?
The winner, and it's really not even close, is the walnut.
Walnuts. Huh. I honestly wouldn't have guessed walnuts first. Why? What makes them so much better?
They don't just win, they kind of blow the others out of the water.
Yeah.
Walnuts have 3 times the antioxidant capacity compared to nuts like pecans or almonds. We're not talking like a little 5% edge here. It's over 200% more antioxidant power than some really popular choices.
Wow, triple the capacity. That really is like a hidden superpower in a common food. And what does that mean for actual health outcomes?
Well, that high antioxidant level directly helps slow the growth of cancer cells. The study showed walnuts did this much better than pecans or almonds. Plus, they're loaded with those healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Those are great for lowering triglycerides and also helping your arteries relax and function better.
Okay, let's pause there because that's important.
Sure.
There's so much confusion about fats. Walnuts are fatty nuts. Will eating them regularly raise my triglycerides? That seems counterintuitive.
No, absolutely not. That's a really persistent myth we need to squash. The fats in whole nuts like walnuts are healthy polyunsaturated fats. They actually help lower cholesterol and triglycerides. What raises triglycerides is typically excess sugar, refined carbs, or even fruit when it's juiced and you lose all the fiber. Eating whole walnuts actually helps manage those blood markers, not make them worse.
Thank you. That's a crucial clarification, especially for anyone watching their heart health. Okay, walnuts are definitely in. Almonds might be taking a back seat. Let's move to berries now. Those deep red, blue, purple fruits we all associate with antioxidants. Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Who wins the berry battle?
Again, it kind of follows the color intensity rule mostly. The champion here is the blackberry. That super deep, dark color translates to incredibly high antioxidant levels. They're followed pretty closely by those dark blue-violet blueberries.
Interesting. Blackberries can be quite tart compared to strawberries, for instance. Is that tartness, that acidity, linked to the antioxidant power?
Often, yeah. That intensity and flavor often comes from the very phytochemicals we're looking for. So, for you listening, if you're mixing berries into yogurt or oatmeal, maybe think about swapping some of the sweeter, less intense ones like strawberries for those powerhouse blackberries. It's a simple change for a potentially big nutritional upgrade.
Makes sense. Okay, this has been great. Let's tackle one more category, one that most people probably don't think about for breakfast. Legumes. We're talking chickpeas, lentils, beans, fava beans, soy. Which one is the sort of unsung antioxidant hero here? My money might be on black beans or maybe soy.
Well, the surprising champion, the one that dramatically outperformed all the others, including popular chickpeas, is the fava bean.
Fava beans. Fava beans. Seriously, that is definitely not what I expected. How do they stack up against something like chickpeas, which are, everywhere now? Chickpea scrambles, hashes.
Fava beans just crush chickpeas in terms of total antioxidant power. It's a really significant difference. And just like the apple, there's a key way to eat them with the skin. That outer layer is important. It protects the starches inside and seems to hold a lot of the beneficial compounds.
Wow. That is a game changer. Fava beans aren't exactly a grab-and-go breakfast item like oatmeal, though. How could you realistically work them in?
Yeah, it takes a bit more thought. You could definitely add them to a savory breakfast hash, or maybe prepare them ahead of time, like as a puree or spread, kind of like hummus, but using the whole fava bean, skin and all. Knowing they're this potent makes finding a way perhaps worth the effort for that morning antioxidant hit.
Good ideas. And since you mentioned lentils earlier, and people do use those in savor breakfast sometimes, is there a best type of lentil to choose?
Yeah, if you're going for lentils, the green lentil comes out on top for antioxidant content. After green, it generally goes black, then brown, then red, and finally yellow lentils have the least.
This has been fantastic, a real evidence-based rebuild of breakfast. So let's synthesize this. What's the ultimate antioxidant power plate for breakfast based purely on the science we've just covered?
Okay, your ultimate plate features a Champions, green apples, remember, with the skin for that artery health boost.
Yeah.
Then walnuts giving you that huge 3 times antioxidant advantage over many others. Add blackberries for that intense berry potency. And the surprise star, fava beans, again, eaten with the skin.
And the whole point of choosing these specific foods is to directly combat that pro-oxidant state right after eating. giving your body the best possible defense against the slow burn of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes.
Exactly right. You've basically identified the nutritional special forces here. Of course, the next step is always figuring out the right amounts for you, how these foods work with your own body, your metabolism, any health conditions. But you've cut through a lot of the noise and marketing hype to get to the science-backed best choices.
We started by thinking about those metabolic exhaust fumes after eating. You now literally have the best fuel and filters to neutralize them. So here's a final thought. Since we learned walnuts are 3 times more potent than almonds, what other everyday foods are you eating where just switching the variety could give you a huge upgrade? Not changing the food type, just the specific kind.
Yeah, great challenge. Think about it. Is there one food you eat regularly? Maybe it's the type of apple, the type of nut, the type of lentil, where you could make a simple swap tomorrow morning based on antioxidant rankings, just like we discussed. One small change, potentially big impact.
Food for thought indeed. Until next time, keep digging deeper and stay well informed.